Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use a computer version of Google Maps for some useful mapping in Macau for your ELW and also maybe your Global Learning Showcase in May. So let's get started. So at the moment we are in Google. We need to sign in. So just sign in with your school email and your password. And we're in. Now, we're going to go to Google Maps. So you can either use maps.google.com or you click the More button and choose Maps. Once you're in, you'll have this. At the moment, we're looking at Hong Kong. So we're looking at Tai Po, where the school is, Lo Ting Pong School. We can use the mouse scroll to zoom out, and we can use the mouse scroll to zoom in, depending on which direction you are scrolling. Now, this of course is Hong Kong, but for this example, we're going to use Macau. So on the top left corner, we're going to use a search. So we type in Macau, and there is Macau right there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinpoint some of the places I'm going to visit in Macau. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm on this section of Macau. And let's say I'm going to go to 3 places. I'm going to go to St. Paul's Ruins, the Macau Ferry, and the MGM Hotel. So first thing I do is if I type Macau Ferry, or ferry terminal in Macau, so there it is right there. That is the ferry terminal. And we know that we are looking at that because it has a red pin. And there's a bus stop and it tells you which buses are running along that road. If I wanted to see what's actually down there, if I want to know what the street looks like, I go down, I see this little orange man. I drag and drop the orange man onto the road and you get a street view like this. Now I can use my mouse, I can navigate around the road, I can rotate, I can even go forward. All right, so right now we're looking at the ferry terminal in Macau. We can use the mouse scroll, we can zoom in and zoom out and all sorts. We can even jump down to the road here if we could, but sometimes it works. Okay, there we go. Great. So we can do that. You can even look around and appreciate the surroundings. Very good. Okay, now let's get out of this. So we press the back button to get back to the map. I'm going to cancel this one. And I'm going to find ruins of St. Paul's. Sometimes when you start typing, it comes up with all these suggestions. So ruins of St. Paul's, Macau. Right, there we go. So it's right there. So if you click on it, if you want to see what the street view is like without using the man, just click Street View right there. And there you have it. That is St. Paul's ruins right there. And there are some other pictures here where you can different people around the world have taken photos of St. Paul's ruins and they've placed them down at the bottom. It's very, very useful. Want to get back to the map, just click back to map or click the back button and now we are back on the map. Now, if I wanted to know, for example, how could I get from the ferry terminal to St. Paul's ruins? What are the directions and what buses would I take and how long would it take to get there? Well, what I do is I click on Directions. Directions. All right, you put your starting point here. So in this case, it's the ferry terminal. So the ferry terminal, which is this one. And we want to get to St. Paul's ruins. Okay, St. Paul's ruins, or ruins of St. Paul's to be more specific. And there we go. So if we took a private car, like a car, whatever, it would take us 7 minutes, right? And it's 3.4 km from point A to point B. If we were walking there, if we click on that, it would actually take about 35 to 40 minutes from the ferry terminal to the ruins of St. Paul's. Looking further, a lot of people would like to take public transport, maybe a bus or something. So if you click the public transport icon, which is this one, it gives you many, many different ways to get to from ferry terminal to the ruins. So in this case, right, this route here, which you can see in green, and there's a bit of walking involved as well. You take the 3A bus or you take the 10 bus and then you walk. So let's just look a little closer. So if we just zoom in, right? So ferry terminal, right? The bus goes all the way there, and then you have to stop at this part. And then once you get to that part, then you walk all the way to St. Paul's. Now, if you're not happy with this route, you can always change the route. So if you click here, find another bus or find a different route. Let's say this is bus number 3. If you click on it, it will show you the different route. All right, let's try this one, number 8, 28B. All right, you notice how the route changes? So maybe different pricing, different time period, and you can see how long it takes to get from, from one part to another. That's very good. Okay, so let's close that. So we press the close button here, and it just resets everything. And similarly, if you wanted to know how to get from one random location to another, let's say if I double-click on any part of Macau, doesn't matter. Let's say I click here. Okay, I'm going to put a pin here, and I'm going to press the directions button, and I want to get from this part, I'm going to swap it over. So I want the random part here. I want to get from here, and I want to go to, say, Holiday Inn Hotel in Macau. Okay, and it automatically gives me a route, like how I can get there. So if I'm using a car, if I'm driving, or if I'm going to take a public transport, there's many different options. Or if I want to walk, there we go. And if I want to reset that, just press the close directions button, and I'm going to zoom out, and there we go. So that's the first part. Please check in for the second part, and thank you very much. All the best. Goodbye.